Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. I haven't done a video like this in a while, and I can't remember why. Maybe because I've been scrambling from channel to channel, because apparently whatever I have been saying on YouTube does not sit well with the powers that be. And they have been playing whack-a-mole with my channels. They got my biggest channel, but I'm still here, and I don't care. Thumbs up, numbers, never really mattered. Don't matter now. We're getting into a very critical period right now, I believe. I just found out, this is how much I pay attention to the mainstream. I just found out the election was moved up an entire week, which has never happened before as far as I know, and doesn't really make all that much sense to me. And I've been telling people that I talk to that we're in for an event. And seeing how we only got 3 weeks until the election, that event's probably going to fall on Halloween. One of the biggest, most satanic holidays ever that Americans embrace more than anything. You see more people dressed up as monsters and death and demons and witches and everything else on Halloween than you see people going through the religious movements, church, etc. on Christmas and such. And it's amazing to me that Easter came and went. Now, I've done videos on Easter numerous times showing you exactly what it is. It's the worship of Esther, Ishtar. Nothing to do with resurrection. But still, the 1 billion or 2 billion Catholics, I guess, that are left on earth, they buy it hook, line, and sinker. Where were they? Where was the outrage when they simply canceled Easter? You know what I'm saying? At any rate. We're at a point right now where so much time has passed in this scam, any other scam in the world, if you were to rip somebody off or lie to them constantly for 7 months, they would figure it out and they wouldn't accept you anymore as somebody worth listening to. Do you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't waste their time with you. And yet, this entire COVID scam has gone on. Everything's still the same, except for the new restrictions, social distancing, mask wearing, and all the other government protocols that have put over 60% of small businesses out of business. Yet Amazon, Walmart, all these other large entities are doing unprecedentedly well. It's amazing to me. And I just thought about it. People just don't... Son of a bitch. People just don't want to hear the truth. That was lame. Stand by. Hold on. I'm driving here and everything's going to hell in a handbasket. Let me pull over in front of this giant 18-wheeler. All right, let's try this again. Stand by. This is a Ram mount, and they suck. All right. You can go to the CDC. You can go to the World Health Organization. You can talk to doctors. You can bring doctors on. You can show people the truth. The truth is out there. It's right there. It's right there. And yet people would rather accept the lies from the mainstream. When I was a kid, right, I lied like a rug. I lied like a hound dog. I lied because I was severely abused by my parents. And my mother was the kind of person that when she was in a bad mood, you were getting your ass beat no matter what. So no matter what she would ask me, no, I don't care what it was, I would lie automatically in hopes that I wouldn't get my ass beat. Well, when you do that, you grow up lying. And then I got into the criminal world where lying is once again an art form. And then I became a drug addict where lying is a way of life. Well, all that stopped around 38, 40 years old when I got clean, stopped using drugs completely. And I started, I always knew there was a God. I just never asked for anything. I didn't pray, get me out of this and I won't do it again. I didn't do that. Because to me, God was always like my grandfather looking down on me, knowing that you want me to get you out of trouble now, even though you knew this was wrong in the first place. So at least I had that going for me. I never got in a real bad spot and then asked God for help. But when I got clean, I started paying attention to God. It's kind of part of the deal, you know what I'm saying? And I've always loved outdoors and nature and all this stuff, and I'm well aware that this wasn't just nothing that exploded and turned into everything, because that's the theory of evolution. That's the Big Bang Theory. According to the Big Bang Theory, there was nothing and then it exploded and turned into everything. Well, that's dumb. That's stupid. It doesn't make sense, and yet most people hold it as true because it takes them away from the truth and it takes them away from God. And that's what they need to get through their day-to-day. Nobody wants to live life and then go die and stand and answer for everything. So just lie to yourself. I have family members that do that. It is what it is. I know that I'm going to be judged by God. I know it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not some Bible thumper or any of that stuff, but I am well aware there is a God Almighty who created everything, who sent his only begotten Son from a virgin birth to come to our mortal coil here on earth and literally live as a man and die as a man in one of the most horrific ways. They beat him with cat o' nine whips with hooks on it, ripping his flesh off. They forced him to wear a crown of thorns and carry his own cross that he was to be crucified on. And he did it. And even while hanging on that cross, he literally forgave a thief on the next cross next to him. That's amazing. So therefore, being someone that lied a good majority of my life, I don't anymore. There's no sense in it. Sometimes it offends people, sometimes it doesn't. But it is what it is. But I understand how people just cannot see the truth, as see-through and ridiculous as it is, because it is. The CDC's website says there's a 99.00007% recovery rate from COVID, which means it's nothing, which it is. And then when you show these, I started saying at the very beginning of this, to Days of Noah, to Mike Decker, to anybody that would listen, I don't think this is a pandemic. I think this is them doing Agenda 21, but I couldn't put the pieces together. And like I told you, I didn't have to. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the Rockefeller Foundation, they all suddenly started coming out once they understood that Americans were under the spell. They weren't snapping out of it. They started telling them, and to this day they're telling them, this is Agenda 21, which folds right into Agenda 2030, and it's literally taking every man, woman, and child off of their place on this earth, especially in our country, and placing them all by the Great Lakes in super cities after they've accepted the social credit system, after they've accepted the biometric vaccine. Can you hear the wind blowing me everywhere? I'm in a valley right now. The wind is kicking my butt. Wow. I'm not accepting Agenda 21. And these people aren't even hiding it. And we're all going to go down because everyone's holding on to the safety rope that Donald Trump's MAGA and the election is throwing to them. But I'll tell you what, that rope is attached to a super tanker that's already underwater. If you grab onto that safety line that Trump, the election, and everything will be fine after November 3rd or 4th or whatever it is, you're in big trouble. You need to accept right now that number one, these people have already decimated this planet. They've poisoned the air, the soil, the water. They've made so many amazing living creatures extinct. It's heartbreaking. And they've messed with humanity, filling us with heavy metals, barium, strontium, aluminum from the air. Well, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, actually, it's called geoengineering. It's an enormous industry, and they came out with it in 2017, and still nobody cares. You need to understand that this world isn't all there is. And as a matter of fact, in this world, we're limited. We're made of energy. Energy never dies. It simply goes to another state. When we pass on from this life, we go back to what we were beforehand, a thing that we can't remember. Some of us can a little, but not exactly. Nobody can. Where we can see in other dimensions. We can smell and feel in other dimensions, I think. But I'll tell you what. 33% of the angels fell from heaven. They came down here to take men's daughters as their own. So clearly there's something that we can't do from the heavens that we can do on earth. So long story short, accept the truth or deny it. The outcome is up to you. But every day that you're on this earth, enjoy it as much as you can. Even if you're in an apartment smoking cigarettes into an overflowing ashtray, look out the window. Remember that God made you in His image for a reason. And the people that run this earth have been trying to make you forget that reason since the day they first stuck a needle in you when you were born. I cannot believe how windy it is. At any rate, Richie from Boston. How's that? Come on.